I will say that was a mistake I made early on, was to not have a setup that really was like dedicated to doing coaching.
So what do you think is an ideal setup for
Yeah,
coaching?
I mean, so honestly, like doing things on a laptop works fine, and that's a good way to, like, if you're traveling or you need to, like, you bring your laptop everywhere. But for me, that was like, I look at it now and I'm like, man, I can do so much of a better job if I really set up like a workstation that is set up for coaching, where I go in and I have a monitor in front of me. I bring up the athlete's profile, their calendar page on the big one in front of me. Maybe to the right, I have some notes, or I have some other thing that's open that I would use. And it's actually like way more effective to sit down and be like, I have a setup that's dedicated to doing my coaching. It just makes the process way better. When you just do it all on your laptop, it's just like, it doesn't really give you that workflow that really like speeds up the process.
You know, it kind of tangents into one of the things I wanted to discuss today, which is when it comes to like coaching workflow and even running a business, it's important to get into certain flow states. So, you know, finding different workspaces that you feel more productive in. You know, for example, that may be a coffee shop for some. It limits distractions. But then the other thing is like, when it comes to coaching, is there a workspace where someone feels like they're more productive doing the coaching role versus another workspace where they go to that space for like marketing and they're more creative? There's actually like a direct correlation with, I think it's places with high ceilings are better for being creative.
Oh, I can see that.
And not having like a hood on, so you can actually see everything around you. Whereas for deep, we'll call it deep work, where like it's very like to-dos and task-based. Having a hood on to like focus and not see your surroundings is better for that type of work.
Interesting.
And so I mean, I definitely recommend, you know, again, side tangent here, but like if you're an online coach that you work from home or you work from different spots, having certain places that are sort of sacred to you is actually a thing, and that's like backed by science.
100%. That's like, I mean, kind of to go into the list, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would say one of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't treat it with the level of like, sort of like seriousness. And it's like, if you're gonna do it professionally, like treat it as a professional, and like get a desk at your house or wherever it is, set up a station, like have your stuff ready so that when you sit down to do your coaching, everything you need is where it belongs. So if you'd like to take notes by hand, that's a notepad right there. If you need two monitors, one to see whatever, like something going on, or your coaching platform, like take it seriously. Because if you don't do that, you're always going to look at it as like a chore you have to do, rather than like, this is my job. I wake up, and at this time and this hour, I do my stuff, and I have it set up.
That's the key issue. And we want to keep today really tactical for you guys, but it's hard for us not to go on these topics because it matters. I'd say one of the key issues that coaches have with failing to scale their business is not treating it like a business, not treating it with the utmost priority. If you want to grow something, it's the same as like if an athlete were to tell you, Max, that they want to go to the Olympics, we talked about this.
Yeah.
If an athlete wants to go to the Olympics, you tell them straight up, like, you need to listen to me. These are the things you're going to do, and this is how it has to get done. It's treated with the utmost priority.
Yeah.
They pretty much have to sacrifice everything for this goal. The same kind of goes for running a business. If you really want to grow and scale this thing, you have to dive deep and make sacrifices. It's never going to grow as like this hobby side thing that you always have in hopes that it replaces your main income of being a CPA or whatever it is, if you 100%. Don't give it that amount of attention.
Yeah, I would say that's like the first thing on this list, right? Is like, if you're going to take it seriously, like that's the first thing. Take it seriously, right? So all the stuff we just said, like, prioritize when you do it, prioritize the business itself, prioritize workspace, like set yourself up with the right tools, just like physical tools, as well as like the time. Like you have to allocate time and schedule it into your week as though it is your job, because if you want it to be a job that scales, you have to do that. Like this sort of idea that like, oh, I'll take on 50 clients or 100 clients or whatever it is, like really take the time to allocate, like how long does each client take me to manage per week? How much time do I need to allocate for that? Then add a buffer to that as well, so we were sitting down the other day in your gym, and we were talking. We were trying to figure out how much time does someone spend per client
per week, per client per week.
And it was kind of funny because it was like it's not a problem, but it's like to just right off the top of your head know exactly it takes 35 minutes per client per week. that's a sort of funny thing. Like that should be a metric we probably all know, but at the very least understand it takes some time and that has to be blocked out. Like that's not time where you're on your coaching platform sending workouts, you know exactly what I'm going to say, and watching YouTube and doing this. Like you might not be able to listen to music or listen to podcasts or do anything while you're coaching. You just need to be in silence with, you know, noise canceling headphones, but you are dialed in and doing that because it's going to be a better product if you're actually focusing on it.
Yeah, I can't tell you